Pike's pushed more and far enough ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
Coming down, does he have it? He's going to get it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Hello everybody and welcome to the iGPFun F3 League here for Season 1 of 2024. We're back after the Christmas break and New Year's as well, and we are ready to go racing for round 2 here from Road Atlanta. It's as I say, the first race of 2024, and we're very glad to be back once again. A whopping 53 drivers on the grid here tonight, ready to go racing across this 4-kilometre circuit for what will be 37 laps and 151 kilometres this evening. My name is Ewan O'Leary, alongside James Parfitt once again for this round of the championship, as we will be here for all but one. I'll be missing a week, but we'll be here for the season, of course, here on JPB. So make sure you subscribe and catch all the action over the course of this shortened season, James, which we were going to say was, going to be different because of the lack of a drop week. But there was a recent vote in the Discord, don't know if you saw this, about whether to add just one drop week as opposed to the usual 2. Just so that, unfortunate incidents aren't punished too badly. I don't know if that's actually been implemented yet, but I can see the results of the poll. It's very much in favour of us going towards one drop week this season rather than the 2 that we normally get. Yeah, it's a long purple zone this time around, but you do often get some trouble on the opening lap at Road Atlanta, or any lap at Road Atlanta, really. It's a very, very difficult racetrack, as usual. around here. I can't remember the last time we were here, but we have been here pretty recently, I remember, and it's such a difficult track to get right. So many twists and turns around here. 12 corners as going by the official track layout, but whatever, then they don't really get it right. But it's very twisty, very turny, and very, very difficult to get right. And surviving over the course of the day is going to be a difficult operation, as well as trying to get a good result. And we'll see there what they decide to do with regards to that. There's plenty of sort of advice almost in the briefing rather than actual rules. There's nowhere where, obviously after the purple zone, there's nowhere that's specifically forbidden in terms of overtaking, but just some not recommended places, and it's probably obvious places as well. If you just use a bit of common sense to think about where you should and shouldn't be passing, maybe there's certainly advice there, but nothing that's nothing that's a rule per se about overtaking. Lee Aberdeen looks as if he's going to take pole here. Then the half-an-hour qualifying session seems to be drawing to a close. He was second, of course, in the opening round, which, by the way, was back at the 17th of December. We missed, of course, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve because of the way that the dates fall this season. It's the 7th of January before we're even taking on round 2. And Lee Aberdeen was second on the 17th at Hockenheim. And he looks to be taking the pole position here ahead of Ivan van der Hoek, who's put in a brilliant qualifying performance by the looks of things.
Yeah, Will Mack and Joe Jones has just come over and finished in 8th. We've got Tony Jimenez 7th, Brent Ruins in 5th, Nicholas Rasmussen in 3rd. Of course, we haven't got Jesper Sandström, who obviously was the last time out winner. He's not here this evening at the moment. I can't see him anywhere in this 53 driver list, mind you. So, it's going to be an interesting... It's a shame, really, because we did say if Jesper can make every single one, he's going to be up there, he'll be challenging. Maybe he'll take this as a drop week if they are implementing drop weeks, but we'll have to just wait and see, I think. I haven't seen any official notification that drop weeks are going to be happening, but it doesn't mean they're not going to. But here is the grid for you, sir.
Yeah, let's have a look at a huge grid, to be honest with you. Lee Aberdeen and Ivan van der Hoek will be on the front row, with Nicholas Rasmussen and Mackenzie Rune on the second. Brent Ruiz and Samu Hermer on row 3, ahead of Tony Jimenez and Will McIntyre Jones on row 4. And rounding out the top 10, it's Kevin Zwemstra and Fabio Grassetto. Andy Flint is 11th, ahead of Pedro Suarez. Mikko Volkering at 13th, out of Luca Varani. Patrick Piper and Evan Way will be on the next row, ahead of Silas Craig Vrolik and Jakub Olszewski. Yumi Dos Santos is 19th, ahead of Robert Ridgway, who's running out the top 20. Then it's Koji Ito and Giovanni Solito. Jack Williams and Chris Stewart on the next row, ahead of Adam Talsmer and Vladislav Potapenko, with Zoltan Zabota and Leonid Sherry sharing row 14. Thibaut Rappelau and Clark Williams round at the top 20, with Reid Dennis and Marina Scatini on the next row. It's an all-British next row, with Eddie Amos of Wales and Stuart Milne of Scotland on row 17. Nick Carty and Stephen Ridders make up an all-North American row 18. It's Mark Zotlovs and Dennis Cornu on the next row, ahead of John McKenzie and Ryan Berry, who round out the top 40. 41st is Rob Mulderink, and he's alongside Marcelo Kessler. It's Chris Georgia Landis and Zerda Blanco on the next row, with Ben Goyet and Oscar Artinano on row 23. Matthew Gracie and Patrick Williams are an All-American row 24, ahead of Maximilian Gerhardt. And then 50th placed Nguyen. It's Ali Nasir in 51st, ahead of Matt Brewer and Richard Valley, rounding out the 53 drivers on the grid. It's an absolutely humongous grid. 27 rows, so that 26 and a half rows, I suppose, here today. A really, really strong entry for the opening round of 2024, the second round of season 1 here for this calendar year. The lights are on and Lee Aberdeen will get us underway from the front and into this purple zone. It's a good launch from him, and so he's not even going to have to go side by side with anybody in towards turn 1. Van der Hoek will slot in there into second place with Rasmussen in third. Ruiz and Brune are going to go side by side up the hill by the looks of things for the Americans. Are they going to sort it out? No, not quite. At the top of the hill at turns 2 and 3. They can do this, of course. It's not an active overtake being made right now from Brent Ruiz, but he's not able to execute it anyway, and so he sticks back into line. Still not out of this purple zone. Now we barrel out of turn 5 and towards turn 6 and 7. From there they'll be racing, and it looks certainly like Van der Hoek is looking pretty racy for the lead right now.
He definitely is there as well. The interesting thing I did spot there coming on that was the leaders were coming down into turn 1 and the back of the field wasn't even out on the last corner. They were still up the hill. So an absolutely monumentally massive grid as Van der Hoek and Aberdeen and Rasmussen and Brent Ruiz, Hermer and Jimenez. Here comes Van der Hoek now, going down into 10A and 10B for the first run here, Ewan. It looks like he might make that move. He has made that move and taken the lead there on lap 1.
Yep, and how many times is that going to change over the course of the day? 37 laps around here. It's a long way, of course, but the slipstream down that back straight is very, very important indeed. And Lee Aberdeen will immediately go to the outside now towards turn 1. Won't go through on that occasion, but it's a staying behind for now for him. Samu Hermer on the defensive a little bit here from Tony Jimenez. That is going to be single file as well. Not advised, as we mentioned, to overtake at the top of the hill at turn 2 and 3 there, but it's not outlawed, so could have given it a go, decided not to. Looks like it's been a clean start here. Everybody has got through the first lap without having to go back to pit lane.
Yeah, it looks like it as well. It does look like Clark Williams had a bit of an off-track moment, and so does Chris George Andelidis as well. He looks like he's had a bit of a moment here as well. Clark Williams is still running, mind you, albeit now he's down 1 place, just lost a place to Reno Scattini. So Scattini has gone in front of Angelidis at the moment. Back up front, though, we've got Tony Jimenez, Samuel Herman, Jones, Grosseto, Flint, Suarez train taking place as well as these guys are on the run down to 10A and 10B, and they're free wide, Ewan.
They are. Who's going to come out of this one on top? It looks like on the inside. Well, I say that, let's not speak too soon, and yes, it will indeed be Fabio Grosseto who prevails in that one. 3 places gained already in this race. He's gone from 10th to 7th in the opening 2 laps of this one. Side by side for the lead again here as well. Aberdeen can't quite do it into turn 1. It's allowing those further back to catch up though, because Nicholas Rasmussen and Mackenzie Rune are both right there as well. In fact, Rune set the fastest lap of anyone last time around.
Yeah, Mackenzie Rune is quick in the F3s. We know him from a other series that he runs in, and he is definitely fast. I think that run out of 10A and 10B is just going to be an overtake every single lap in this front 6. You can see we've got 6 cars there fighting it out really in conjunction with the lead. It's a good opportunity basically for these guys, with these guys fighting away continuously to basically gain some positions if they can. There's a 12-second gap between 1st and 27th at the moment, and that would be Vyacheslav Podopenko, but Aberdeen's coming once more.
And is this going to be a swap through tactics or just pure speed at the moment? The Australian down the inside into the final chicane and executes it well. Further back, by the way, Samuel Hermer and Brent Ruiz are going side by side for 5th place as well. Hermer not able to execute that place, or overtake, I should say, on that occasion. Over the line they will go now to complete just 3 laps of this race, weaving around here from Ruiz as he tries to defend, but look at the gap for the top 4. Less than a second covers the lot of them in a very close race for the lead early on.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's kicking off here as well through that tricky turn 3. Now we've got that full flat run through turn 4. They're not going to really have to lift here. They can make it all the way through. Then the left-hander of 5. Don't touch the curb on the outside if you can help it. Well, if you do, make sure you're not on the throttle there, as we've seen multiple times of cars spinning round and ending up in the barrier in the left-hand side. Aberdeen still out in front at the moment. We've still got Van der Hoek behind them. Rasmussen, Rune, Ruiz, Hermer and Grosseto is leading the next pack of cars. As you see, there's about 10 cars in the next pack, all the way down to Robert Ridgway down in 17th. We've got Wojciech off the side of the circuit. He's come out on turn 7. Too many beans there, Ewan, and unfortunately it looks like he's locked up and gone round.
Well, that's the usual scenario, but sometimes we get a situation where Crevrolik does get on the power too early and then gets hit in the rear. It doesn't look like he's going to experience that hit because he's quite a long way ahead of the driver behind. But let's see. Yeah, it is on his own. It's actually up on the curb there as he's trying to get going as well, which you can really come unstuck by. That's turn 7, of course. Very important corner on this racetrack if you're trying to make moves down in towards that final chicane. Samu Herma's now up to 4th. He's passed Rune, and where on earth is Rasmussen and Ruiz? Well, Brent Ruiz is in 3rd. Rasmussen is plummeting down the order in the pit lane. Wonder what's happened to him, as Giovanni Solito has also gone off, by the way. Let's see what happened to Nicholas Rasmussen as he tried to make the switch back. He switched himself onto the grass and into the wall.
Yeah, Rasmussen tried to go the other side and unfortunately caused himself no end of trouble. He's then dived down into the pits as Rasmussen, so unfortunately that's dropped him way down the field at the moment. He's literally all the way down in 41st place. He's now on a march, he's now on a mission, and this is what his mission's going to be. He's going to try and get as far up as possible as he possibly can. Samuel Herma got Mackenzie Roon tucked up right behind him at the moment, and they're side by side with McIntyre Jones and Pedro Suarez. Suarez just taking that position, and through he goes. There is a massive train of cars here having this battle, and Volkering is one of them.
Something was flying off to the driver's left there into the gravel on the exit of that chicane there. It looked like a piece of bodywork to me, but everyone here has still got everything attached, so I've got no idea what that was.
Could it be this one?
Let's this is Grassetto finding the wall. Well, that's how he's dropped out of the group. He's got into the wall. That's out of turn 5, just on the exit of the S's, and he seems to have dropped that on his own on the curbs. That's a very common place to see mistakes, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then we've got Ngayan out coming into turn 7. He's gone through 7. Oh, carbon copy there. We saw that a little bit earlier on as well. Dennis Cornu also looks like he's taking a trip off the side of the circuit, and Giovanni Solito has also looked like he's taken a run, but Van der Hoek still going at Aberdeen here.
Yep, they're two staying well close together. Van der Hoek, by the way, was 10th place in the race at the Hockenheimring 1 race ago. That was the opening round of our season, of course. The Aberdeen was 2nd on the day behind Jesper Sandström, who did take a pretty dominant victory in that case. However, he's not here tonight, and unfortunately for him, he's very sporadic in his attendance. We do like to have him here, of course, when he can get there, but unfortunately it's not very often. If you're going to have a championship charge, then it's very difficult to do that if you're only here very sporadically.
Yeah, I think he's one of the ones relying on that they bring in the drop week. I think that's the thing. He kind of would need it, would Sandstrom, and he could take this one as his drop week if need be. But it's a shame because he is outright quick and he's so fast. If he could come and stay for the season, I reckon he'd be up here every single week giving these guys trouble, to be honest.
I think so, but I think also he's going to need more than one drop week to keep him in contention. Also, another notable absentee, by the way, is these two leaders are not really fighting each other, and I wouldn't expect them to. Kenzie Newhoff also not here today, 3rd at Hockenheim and always a championship contender. He's not, I say always, he certainly has been always since we've been here. He's not here today either, which is a shame to see, and that means he'll be hoping for at least one drop week, because I do have faith that he will be here for the remaining rounds.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's any doubt that he's not going to be, is it? Let's be real with Mackenzie Roon. You know, he's a double champion. He clearly is here, as Potapenko has just lost that place to Rabelard as they're going down into 10A and 10B. Still through they go. Eddie Amos fighting it out here as well with Craig Rolick and also Clark Williams. And Amos there looking like he's just taking that position from Clark Williams, and Rolick in front of them as well. Still battles all the way through the field. Looks like Matthew Gracie's taking a trip off the side of the circuit, and Will McIntyre Jones is breaking away from the Volkering pack of Swebstra, Flint, Brani, Way, Dos Santos and Olezwinski.
Yeah, and surely more catching from behind as well. Robert Ridgway is heading another group of multiple Americans actually who are trailing him at the moment, but Patrick Piper and Chris Stewart both there, Koji Ito as well, for example, and they're all trying to catch up at the moment to that group that's fighting over 10th place. There's the train you can see, and there's the other one just rising over the hill at the moment as it's side by side for third. Hermer and Ruiz going for it, and Hermer again hanging back into fourth position. Just wonder whether these two can work together a little bit to try and get themselves onto the tail of the two leaders and maybe fight it out for a race win.
Yeah, there's a lot of side-by-sides coming down the hill at the moment. Adam Townsmart is here as well with Leonard Cherry, with Jack Williams right behind it. Go on, Jack, have it! There as well, as I'd love to see an aggressive Jack Williams. He's almost a Joe Gonzaga from the SR10s, is Jack. You know what I mean? When he's on it, he's on it. When he ain't on it, he's not on it. And unfortunately, doesn't look like he's on it. Townsmart and Cherry going side by side in turn one. Please don't open up your steering, otherwise Leonard Cherry is going to... He didn't, did Adam Townsmart. He kept it tight. Leonard Cherry survives another day there as well. But yeah, it's getting very interesting. It's getting very tight through the top 8, from 8th all the way down into 14th here, Ewan. A lot of action taking place. Volkering's probably at the front of it with Webster, Flint, Brani, Way and De Santos. But the leaders are opening up a little bit of a gap, but they are being caught as somebody is on the side of the track there. That's Patrick Williams off the side of the second.
Yeah, that was... a lapped car, so no positions gained there. For some reason though, these guys are fighting for 9th, and I'm trying to work out who's missing now, as Volkering is going to get attacked now by Kevin Dremstra down the inside here into the chicane. Late on the brakes from Volkering, but not really with the right angle in towards the first part of that chicane, and so through goes Swemstra, who is missing from that the front of the group now. Because
we lost Rasmussen, didn't we?
Well, no, that was a while ago, but I thought just only a lap or so ago that Volkering was heading the group for 10th place. Of course, now he's 10th again, but Webster's at the front of the group now, of course, so it feels like someone's missing from the front group, but I can't pick out who it might be, so maybe there isn't any. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you.
Rossetto put himself into the wall as well, didn't he?
Yeah, maybe I'm just misremembering, to be fair. It's entirely possible, as Flint goes a bit wide over the bumps there. It's good that we've still got this group very close together. Volkering not letting Dremstra get too far away, even despite being overtaken here.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to at the moment, I think, as well. This 10A, 10B is going to basically be able to help him pull all the way closer and closer as they go down that back straight now, that long straight that's got 2 corner numbers in that we don't really count, but we go from 7 to 10. That's fine here as well, as Andy Flint on that front right suspension. Going to be looking at, he's got to, oh, that was late. That was late from Flint. Did he make the change? Not this time, but he did open it up to lose a position to Varani.
Yeah, he gave a lot of room to Volkering there on the second part, and Varani has gone straight through into 11th now. Evan Way is going to look to continue the freight train now and head his way to the inside. Into turn 1 they go. It's side by side, not actually between Way and Flint, but De Santos instead is on the outside. Into the chicane they go, or the S's I should say. That was very close. De Santos went in a bit too deep and very nearly came back on and made contact with Olszewski as well, who was steaming through. Evan Way hangs on to the place at least, doesn't make any places, but De Santos does lose one and he's back to 15th.
I'll tell you what, he could have been losing a lot more after that, because that was almost contact with Olszewski coming back onto the track there. Not an ideal scenario rejoin, but I suppose from his point of view, he didn't really have anywhere else to go. So Red Brewers and has passed Van der Hoek. That's an interesting one. We'll see what happened, if there was anything that happened to Van der Hoek, or did he just get caught up there as well? So yeah, can't really see anything from Van der Hoek. Just looks like he might have been caught and passed, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's see what happened to him. Lee Aberdeen now has more than a second's worth of a lead, by the way. This is Brent Ruiz.
That's a slow
getting
down.
Past. Okay, yeah, probably. Although, where would he have picked it up from? Maybe it would have carried over from turn 5, but it seems like a long time for that to carry over. I don't know where else you'd get it, though.
No, unless he got it, well, as you say, out of 5. You can get it out of 6, but you've got to be in a very weird position to get that. So, you know, depending on where he might have got it, picked it up from. Unfortunately, though, it did definitely look like he was slow coming out of turn 7, and I had to back off on the straight. That's allowed Aberdeen to open up a 1.1 second gap. Brewers and Van der Hoek half a second behind with Samuel Hermer. We've still got De Santos fighting out with Olszewski, and then we've got that train of Will McIntyre, Kevin Swenstra, Volkering behind him, Vrani, Flint, Way and Olszewski as well. So Still battles to be had here. Further down the end of the field, though, Marek Otlovs, John McKenzie, Rasmussen's coming back through the field as well. So Rasmussen's on a bit of a charge. He's made his way up to 32nd after being all the way down pretty much near the back of the field, having to go into the pits.
And it's going to be 31st soon as well, because Mackenzie's gone wide there into turn 7. The most important thing on this circuit in a battle is to get off of turn 7 correctly, and unfortunately Mackenzie hasn't done that. He will have the slipstream of those in front, which may just to aid him in his defence here, but Rasmussen's going to have too much for Mackenzie here, I think. Down the inside he'll go, and through. Otlovs and Scatini go side by side further back as well, and Mackenzie realises the situation. There's not much use in fighting with Nicholas Rasmussen at the moment, because it's going to be very difficult to keep him behind anyway. Side by side up in front of him as well, between Scatini and Otlovs, and Rasmussen immediately is going to get through on Otlovs and nearly do the same on Scatini, but need to wait a little bit longer for that.
Oh, Leonard Cherry, Adam Townsbar and Jakub Oleszwinski. Looks like they've all had a bit of a moment. There's Townsbar.
Oh no! Oh, there's cars all over the place here. There was a car in the middle of the road, I think it was a lap car, trying to get back going again.
I'm wondering if that was Oleszwinski, you know.
Oh, was it?
I'm wondering if it was. Yes, he
It
was
was, you're right.
rejoining.
Oh, he's rejoined, but he's spun on the curb, and Sherry has gone straight into him. The pair of them go for a gymnastics run, and unfortunately they'll be out the race here. There it is. Sherry couldn't do anything about it, committed to the S's at that point, and Oleszewski's going to be in trouble for that, I'd imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Is he going to be in trouble? That rejoin, I get the purpose of it, but it was that extra spin. He didn't really need to have that, and he did have it, which then caused him problems because he was just sat there like an absolute lemon, not being able to go anywhere. Rasmussen's been off the track. Unfortunately for Rasmussen, he has been off the track. He's now dropped down to 36th place after being up in the early 30s there as well. So unfortunately for Rasmussen, his day is not going well. Koji Ito, Matthew Gracie look like they've been in contact at the same time. And Stephen Ridders is fighting out with Ryan Berry for 42nd and 43rd at the moment as they go side by side down into 10A. Ridders does make it through. But yeah, Samuel Hammer still having a scrap up front with Van der Hoek.
Yep, he is third place at the moment. Hermer hanging on ahead of Van der Hoek, who qualified well, started to race well as well in the first 30-40 kilometres or so, but is dropping back a little bit now. We're on to lap 15, starting to get to the halfway mark in this race. 37 laps around here at Road Atlanta, 151 kilometres in the second round of the iGPFun F3 League for the first season in 2024. Lap car in front of Hermer, doesn't know which way to go. He will go through and, well, just about narrowly get a car between himself and Van der Hoek, which will put an end to that battle for third place.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I think that was probably Adam Townsbar there as well. Or as Mackenzie Roon has just gone through at the same time. I can't quite pick up on the pink car outside there either, so we'll have to take an eye on that one. But yeah, battle still materialising now. Pedro Suarez is having a go at Leonard Cherry. To be fair, considering Cherry was involved in that big old smash up with Oleszwinski, still running out there at the moment.
Yes. Wow, that's... Well, he must have been in then, in that case, because that doesn't make much sense at all. He was absolutely damaged. Yes, a second in the pit lane suggests that fast repair was taken. Oleszewski is out of the race, by the way, and that the same can be said for 8 of the drivers so far. Dennis Cornu, the final running driver in the field, he's still only a lap or so down, so will be classified if he continues on the way that he's going. But he is the last driver running, 45th in the field, which shows you just how many cars are out there on the circuit. Traffic is going to be a problem for the leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to start coming through now. I would say look on the track map on the right hand side, but to be honest with you, it's looking like it's at the dot-to-dot board on a continuation. It's not making any sense. There's so many cars are close to each other at the moment. You've got a mix up of numbers all over the place. So I think this is the back marker of, I think that was Valley, Richard Valley at the back there. So we're on board with Volkering. He's chasing down Barani, who's trying to chase down on Zwemstra. So this battle's happening as well. We've got Van der Hoek is still under pressure further up the order. There's still battles all the way down to Stephen Ridders, who's still going with Ryan Berry, which is great to see. And Koji Ito is mixing up in the middle with, of course, the Dutchman of Willems and Wojciech. They're going at each other as well. So still action throughout the field here. And this isn't done by any shape of the imagination, to be honest with you. But we have only got 20 laps remaining.
Yeah, we're still not halfway through, so plenty can happen here. This is the battle for ninth we're looking at. Kevin Zwemstra is the car 2 ahead of us. Then it's Luca Varani, and Mikko Volkering is the one we're on board with, weaving from left to right for whatever reason. Now that's to get in the mirrors of those in front, not sure, but he's looking for a way past at the moment. Over the top of the hill, through the S's. Varani just gets unstuck slightly, slides a bit as well. Volkering can't find a way through, though, at this most difficult portion of the racetrack.
Yeah, it looks like Lee Aberdeen took a trip off the side of the circuit. That's allowed Brent Ruiz to come right into it here as well. I'm just going to show you before they get down into 10A and 10B what happened. Back marker there as well. Getting in, unfortunately, well, to be honest, can you really blame the back marker? There's nowhere for him to go whatsoever. Ruiz just about to make this move down into 10, surely, possibly making it a clean one.
Well, it's going to be a hang back situation at the moment. Ruiz holds back through the first part to get that exit off the second bit, and will that allow a pass in towards turn 1? Through the final corner they'll go. I don't think he's close enough, but the slipstream effect is pretty major. In towards turn 1 they go, and no, Lee Aberdeen will hang on to the lead. Did see Silas Craig-Froelich off the road again, unfortunately, on that lap there, and he's dropped down the field once again. He had made himself back up to sort of the top 20 area, but unfortunately he's gone back to the pit lane now, and I think that is his day done after clearly some sort of incident on this lap, because he's down in the pit lane, doesn't look like he's going to return.
Leonard Cherry's also done something again, and has what
was that all about?
Question is, was that from behind or was that on his own? Oh no, Stephen Ridders contact tyre to tyre, and unfortunately for Cherry, he's gone straight back to the pits. Brad Vorlick did this at turn 7 on the curb into the wall, unfortunately for him, but the leaders are coming down into 10A, and Ruiz is still sat behind Aberdeen at the moment.
He doesn't like that corner, does he, Greg Vorlick? He's gone off twice there now, and that has spelled the end of his day. Unfortunately for Leonard Cherry, I'm not sure he should have been in that situation with who did you say it was? Chris Stewart, was it?
Steve Ridders, I think it was.
Steve Ridders, sorry, who was down his inside there. Now, they weren't fighting for position, were they?
Well, we did have Leonard Cherry's a lap down. All of a sudden, I think the timer tower corrected itself. So it is possible that Steve Ridders and Leonard Cherry were fighting for a position. It just didn't end well for either of them. Flynn has also been battling here with Varani. Now, he has changed positions with Luca Varani. Andy Flynn got him and overtaken him. Now it's up to Varani to try and stay with him and get the position back. I'm trying to keep an eye on the leaders at the same time as they're coming out of 7 now. It looks like Ruiz has got hung up behind a back marker here currently at the moment as well, which he has done, and it looks like he had dropped a little bit of time, but not a massive amount, so Sultan Zomoto has just been overtaken.
I think it was a battle for position then with Ridders, but even so, I think Sherry may have turned in there in turn 7, don't know, but it's certainly what it looked like to me. But anyway, Sherry is back to the pit lane now and looks to be out of this race as well, so that leaves us with 42 cars running, having lost 3 in the last few laps. Here comes Brent Ruiz, looking for the race lead. His fastest lap of the race so far, his personal best on that last lap, but no pass into turn 1. Maybe up the top of the hill here. He's got a good run, but doesn't decide to use it. It would have been brave, but no, he decides not to go for it on this occasion.
I think he had to err on the side of valour on that one, because I don't think Aberdeen was giving it up very easily either. Andy Flynn has now lost positions to Varani, so that's the second time, I believe, in the last few laps that these guys have swapped positions. I'm sure it's not probably only the second time throughout the race. I'm sure they've been doing it all the way through, as Varani kicks up a lump of dust into Flint's face there at the moment as well. Volkering clearing what I presume is Blanco down in 37th. The back marker, he is in the background there once more. So still action happening. Aberdeen and Ruiz coming down into 10A again.
And once again, no pass here for Ruiz. It's going to be a case once again of whether he's just waiting or whether he actually can't do it on the way through there, because he doesn't seem to have any problems getting near in towards turn 1. Maybe he prefers that as a passing zone, but clearly this race is staying close for some period of time. Didn't really get this at Hockenheim. We saw Jesper Sandström leading by quite some way for quite a long time in that race, and in the end ended up taking the race win by some distance, and unfortunately we didn't really get a battle for it, but we certainly have on this occasion. Lee Aberdeen looking to add to his second place at the opening round with a win here, with Brent Ruiz and Samuel Hermer right behind. Ruiz was 5th back at Hockenheim, by the way. I think Hermer ran into problems in that race actually, because I do remember him running all right, but he didn't finish very well.
No, I'm struggling to think back, to be honest. There's been Christmas in the middle at some point as well for Samuel Hermer, but he is doing a good job here though. Being in third, he can see the guys in front. Now, I wouldn't put it past him over the next 16 laps. Hermer coming through and taking the victory, because that draft is so strong and they are able to use it. Mackenzie Roon is just about to go past Pedro Suarez here.
Side by side between those two on the way in towards the chicane again. It's the outside for Suarez, who gives a lot of room through the first bit and parks it through the second, which allows, right round the outside there, Mackenzie Roon to go through on Pedro Suarez, so up to 5th place now. That means they've lost a whole load of time to Van der Hoek and those behind as well, led by Will McIntyre-Jones, who's brung 3 other drivers with him as well in this battle for 5th place.
Yeah, McIntyre-Jones doing an absolute stellar job. He's brought Tony Jimenez. We've got Pedro Suarez in front of us with Roon there as well. Andy Flint and Varani still going at it. Jimmy Jimenez De Santos is into the pits, and there could be a reason for that. It looks like he may have had an incident. Evan Way has also had a crash at some point as well and has dropped down the order a little bit. He's down in 15th now, is Evan Way, looking very, very slow. So I wonder, what did Evan Way do coming up into turn 2 and 3? Oh, he's bounced the curb already, bounced it again, going on the way in, and unfortunately he's just kind of sat there like a sitting duck. Hopefully a lot better rejoin than the one we saw earlier on from Oleszewski. He does. So,
Oh dear,
I'm going to presume he did.
I saw a car bearing down in there. He did almost exactly the same thing. Oh dear. Well, I'm going to presume it was okay, because he's still running, and it didn't look like Jack Williams behind him, but he has got Williams right behind him now for 15th place, so clearly he wasn't damaged anyway. Hopefully the other driver wasn't either in all of that. Down the hill go the 3 leaders again, Aberdeen, Ruiz and Hermer, who by the way was a DNF at the opening round. I remember him qualifying well. He might have been caught up in that turn 1 incident, which of course shaped that race.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think this has developed into quite an interesting race itself. We've still got, what have we got, nearly 40 cars running. I think Richard Valley is the last one running here, and he's down in 39th. We've got Eddie Amos here as well. He's trying to fight out with Stu Milne, who's just got it completely wrong through turn 2 and turn 3 and nearly put it in the wall. But Aberdeen and Brett Brewer is still going at it nose to toe.
They are. Through they go. The chicane again. End of lap 23 in this race. Just under half an hour gone and 14 laps to go, meaning that we're getting to the closing stages of this one. Lee Aberdeen realising the heightened importance now and goes to the inside again. Ruiz forced around the outside but doesn't attempt the move. He's always very strong off of turn 1, but there's nowhere to use it at turn 2 or 3. I wonder whether with a few laps to go maybe he'd go for it in that situation, and at the moment it's just not worth the risk.
No, I think for Ruiz, I would wait, because they're doing nearly 37 laps, right? They must be having there's got to be tyre wear kicking in on these cars as well, because they have been going at it tooth and nail. So there must be tyre wear as well. And if Ruiz has managed to do any form of saving, you see Aberdeen, the way Aberdeen went through turn 7, it was almost drifting round it. So I mean, for Ruiz, I would sit and wait till at least another 6-7 laps and just use the straights to close in on him.
Yeah, let's see if that's what's going to happen here. He might have the problem of Hermer, though. In towards the chicane they go. Samuel Hermer goes down the inside of Brent Ruiz and goes through. And he will indeed. Well, yes, he does indeed. So Hermer's through into second place. 3/4 of a second now the gap to Aberdeen. Maybe he's got the chance to break away.
Yeah, Aberdeen's going to look at trying to run as best as he possibly can at the moment. What I would do if I was Hermer and Ruiz is just not fight and just try and close in on him at the same time. And use Hermer, because obviously Hermer's showing pace. He coming later on, he probably conserved his tyres throughout the first half of the race and has done an absolutely stellar job. So I think for him, for Samuel Hermer, I would look at just closing on the Aberdeen as well, as long as he doesn't go and do that and put it into the wall. Luca Barani still battling away with Andy Flint. Chris Stewart still going at it with Marek Otlovs, and Nick Carty there, and Potapenko as well, side by side, coming down into 10A and 10B. But it's all about Aberdeen and whether or not Hermer and Ruiz are going to work together.
Are they going to fight between themselves or go for first between the two of them? Ruiz homes in the slipstream again. Now's the important moment. He does go for it here. Are they sacrificing a chance at a win here for this second place? Down the inside goes Ruiz, and through he goes again. The gap increases to a second, and Lee Aberdeen is seeing his chance to win this race before his eyes right now. It's only getting bigger now, this gap, for these two to close if they want to take the win.
Yeah, they've got to stop. They've got to stop. You've got. I know it's tough to look and say it's easier. Whoa!
Oh. I don't know who that was.
That was Richard Valley. But the question was, did Valley get hit? Oh, he's got no rear wing on the car. Why are we still going? Why did we not go in?
Well,
trouble is Lee Aberdeen is coming around the corner very, very shortly. There he is. And for Valley, oh, he does the right thing. I thought he was almost going to go backwards there. But, yeah, Valley going, driving around with no rear wing, which seems a bit strange. Mackenzie Roon fighting out with Pedro Suarez.
Yeah, that's for fifth place as well. Maybe he didn't realise the rear wing was gone, to be fair. Sometimes you can sort of innocuously clip it and it falls off and you don't quite realise that you've got no rear wing. It's I know it's obvious to us because we're looking at the whole car, but when you're sat facing the wrong way with regards to the rear wing, it can sometimes surprise you how little it takes to clip it off. As Runa goes down the inside of Suarez, we're up to fifth place now. This battle not getting any smaller in terms of drivers involved. Suarez still very close to fifth now.
Yeah, he's got Jones and Jimenez and maybe not Zwemstra. Zwemstra's 1.6 back. But Rune and Suarez now side by side into turn 1. Suarez is on the inside. Rune, is he going to hold it? They're going to come up through 2 into 3. They do make it through cleanly through turn 2, through from 3, and on that run down into 4. But that could have been very, very close. Volkering here as well, trying to chase down on Zwemstra. Barani has opened up a little bit of a gap to Andy Flynn, and this is why he's opened up a little bit of a gap to Andy Flynn. Onto the grass he goes, and there's only a one-way ticket. He's got nowhere to go, basically, apart from trying to keep the wheel straight and making sure he don't hit the wall. So, yeah, great action going on. 10 to go here at the moment.
Yeah, 10 to go when they get to the line, and Lee Aberdeen is not far away from doing that. He's just coming up to the final chicane now, and he's got 1.3 seconds. You can see the sort of strength of the slipstream even around here at such a technical circuit. As soon as Ruiz has lost it, he's not been able to gain it back again, and now the gap grows to 1.5 seconds very nearly. Now that the two of them are basically all things equal, going against each other lap time for lap time, Lee Aberdeen gains another 3 tenths on that lap.
Yeah, I think these two fight and haven't done themselves any justice, unfortunately. I think you kind of wanted to not do what they're doing or what they have done. I think it could have been a line astern situation, may have been better than scrapping it out. Now, unfortunately, they've lost 1.6 seconds. They kind of might as well almost go for it now within the last 10 to see how they get on. Mackenzie has now got a 3-car battle behind him with Suarez and McIntyre Jones. And just in the background is Tony Jimenez there from the XPD Emerald Racing team. So he's on a closure once more as well. So a few battles still materialising. Chris Stewart's just been off the side of the circuit, and Rasmussen is now back up into 25th and trying to make his way past Potapenko.
He's doing a good job here. I reckon he might be able to get top 20 here, Rasmussen. Although maybe there's not enough time left in the race for that. Down the inside goes Rasmussen, and through he goes, tentatively so, but he is into 24th now as Samuel Hermer's off the road in an attempt to overtake Ruiz. It's gone wrong here for Samuel Hermer. He drops off the podium as well. Let's see what happened between the two of them. They were going, and he's come across on Ruiz, and he's out of the race. Samuel Hermer with a possible DNF for the second round in a row. After coming across on Brent Ruiz, he thought his overtake was complete, but in fact it certainly wasn't.
No, does that ring a bell from the last round? Something's telling me that's exactly. I just had a big dose of deja vu when Hermer and Ruiz did that. So I'm wondering if one of them comes to contact the same way at the last race as well. But unfortunately for Samuel Hermer, it's good night Vienna. He's jumped down to the pits. He's out, I'm going to presume at this moment in time. I'm not quite sure exactly where he is on the timing board, as he seems to have completely disappeared on me, unless my eyes are deceived.
He has disappeared entirely.
Oh, he's down in 37. There we go, I've found him. He's down in 37.
In the pit lane and not out of the race yet. He can still get out and get points, but it will probably be single figures in terms of points. But then again, if there is going to be this one drop round we're talking about, then this round, he's already scored 0 points at Hockenheim. He needs these points here in Road Atlanta as well, even if it is going to be peanuts at this stage for him.
Just basically take as many as you possibly can for Samuel Hermer. I don't think he's sitting in the pits. He's towed back. So, as you know, there's a waiting time on being towed. So, I don't think he's going to... I don't know if he's going to come back out, to be honest with you, Ewan, as well. We've got 7 laps remaining. I would like to think he would, but I'd also like to don't think there's a point in it. And by the looks of it, he isn't running. And I think he's kind of out at this moment in time.
Yes. We'll see about that a little bit later on. 4th place is the battle we're focusing in on at the moment. We're riding on board with the front wing, or literally on the front wing of Pedro Suarez here. 5th place for him right now. He was 13th at the opening round of the season in Germany, in Hockenheim. I'm looking for a much better performance on this occasion now on the back of Mackenzie Roon, who will duck past one of the lapped cars, Ali Nasser, who is slowing down and letting these guys through at the moment. In towards the final chicane they go. It's a better line from Suarez through the first part. Is he going to get a better exit? Well, it's okay, and he will be right there with Rooney as they cross over 7 laps to go.
Mackenzie Roon's now got to hold on. Is he going to be, basically, are we going to send it in turn 1 for Suarez? Well, he's never chickened out of a battle before, and he's not going to chicken out again. Roon's got to try and hold it, run a little bit wider, as he did do there as well. Suarez still, Roon's jeopardised his exit out of 3 to try and maintain that position. Suarez got the more natural line, but it looks like Roon's carried quite a lot of speed through there, Ewan, and still managing to hold on to that position, which is absolutely amazing. But Suarez is coming, and it's going to be tough for him at the moment for Roon to hold on one more lap.
It is, and this battle is going to continue to the end, you would imagine. They won't have any hopes of getting a podium place from this. Van der Hoek is too far away, 3.5 seconds up the road. This is the fight for them. This is the maximum they can gain from this race. Suarez closer than ever. He's even got a second back to McIntyre Jones. He can afford to make this move and take care over it into the final chicane. Here he goes on the inside line now. He does make his way through, doesn't break too late, doesn't overcook it at all, and he's up to 4th place.
Yeah, we did say it was going to be tough to hold on there for Mackenzie Roon. He basically was going to struggle to keep Suarez back. Suarez was looking very, very quick, mind you. So now it's just whether or not they work together, but it doesn't look like they are going to be, as Mackenzie Roon just managed to hold on.
I can't believe he's not in the grass, to be honest. I thought he was for sure going far, far, far too wide there, but he's managed to stay on the road, and fair play to him for that. He's back to 5th now. McIntyre Jones is with them as well. There's not all that much back to Tony Jimenez, Kevin Dremstra, Mikko Volkering as well, who's in 9th place.
Absolutely. There's a lot of cars coming, and it could be an interesting battle towards the end here as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how these last 5 laps materialise. Whether you have got Suarez, you have got Rune, you've got Jones, Jimenez and Zwemstra possibly a little bit too far back, but Volkering challenging Zwemstra there as well. So great little battle still materialising. 5th is still up for grabs here as well. Possibly 7th with Tony Jimenez once more. George Andalidis is crashed there as well, unfortunately for him. But Zwemstra and Volkering still going at it down into 10A.
Yeah, we've still got, by the way, 37 cars in the race. Unfortunately, Samuel Hermer's not one of them, and he is out of the race down there in 38th position. Not sure whether Richard Valley in 37th is actually close enough to the race leader. Oh, he is just about close enough, but he can't afford to lose another lap. Otherwise, he won't be classified from today's race. This is Kevin Dremstra, very close to Mikko Volkering, who has just gotten through into 8th place now. And Dremstra will for sure be looking to come back at him as well, with 5 laps to go, including the one they're on. Yeah,
he's going to try and hold on to it. Ali Nasser has crashed, unfortunately, once more. Had a bit of a dreadful one there once more. Nick Carty still going at it with Potapenko. Potapenko just taking to the grass. Manages to hold on. He's got the inside line. Carty's going to get the run out of 10B. He's going to be up the inside. He's going to try and drop down through 11. Potapenko takes his nose off. Carty runs that wide line to try and carry that speed. Through turn 12 he goes. Is he going to be able to get the run into 1? If he does get the run, it's going to be a forceful one here as well. He does try it. That's Carty. Potapenko comes out, takes the road a little bit more and takes the line there as well. But Tony Jimenez and Mackenzie Rune side by side through 10A and 10B, and Jimenez takes that position away.
So that's 6th place now, with McIntyre Jones probably feeling more secure in 5th now, and Mackenzie Rune unfortunately has seen a podium place that he was knocking on the door for earlier slip away to not even a top 5 now. Kevin Zwemstra will be looking to get back through, and Zwemstra and Volkering still seem pretty racy at this end of the day, which could prove to be an issue for the American in 7th place. Look at the way he's just dropping off the back of Tony Jimenez here through the S's. He's clearly struggling right now, and he'll be hoping he can hang on to that 7th place at least from here.
Yeah, he seems to be losing the tyres towards the back end of this race. I did say that tyre wear was possibly going to be a bit of an issue. I'm trying to keep an eye on Rasmussen. He's just made it into the top 20. As Rasmussen there as well, as Ewan shouts, "Oh, in my hero," and I have no idea why.
Volkering just very wide there, and that's ruined it for him. I think he'll be finishing 9th from here in that case, because he broke way too late for turn 7, and as we know, he needed a good run off that corner in towards the final chicane, and he's certainly not got it there. Maybe it's not over for him, but he very nearly threw his whole race away there at turn 7.
2 laps to go there as well. Dalton Sport, welcome into YouTube. Jerome as well. Aberdeen's pulled a gap. He did. It started with Hermer and Ruiz fighting it out, and then unfortunately they made contact. Hermer ended up in the wall. So for Mackenzie Rune, he's trying to get back on Tony Jimenez. I think the interesting thing for Jimenez is whether or not he's just basically going to manage the gap that he's got here, Ewan. I don't really feel to worry too much about this situation, especially with Mackenzie Rune. Mackenzie Rune just looked a little bit off the pace towards the back end of this race.
Yeah, I think maybe just put a little bit too much into the front end here to just not giving himself anything left for the end of this one now. It's a long way round here, of course. A lot of twists and turns, and tyre wear's a factor. May not have factored that into his pacing over the course of the day. In the slipstream at the moment for Mackenzie Rune, though. Maybe he can come back at Tony Jimenez here. Thought Jimenez would be able to drive away, but it's not been the case. And Rune is looking quick in the slipstream here. He'll have a go down the inside. It will be side by side into the final chicane, and through goes Rune again. So it's not over, clearly. He's had a second win now, and he's back up to 6th.
Yeah, maybe he's just let him cool down for a lap here, and then now he's got at it again. But we're going to be venturing onto the final lap very, very shortly. So these guys have just got this one and one more to go. Now it's whether or not Mackenzie Rune can try and drive away I'm not going to say drive away, because we know full well that the draft down the back straight will play a massive part, and Mackenzie Roon can't afford to be running the curbs out of turn 3, because we've also seen that go completely wrong as well. Rasmussen and Mackenzie. Rasmussen makes up another position. He's climbed his way back up into 19th. Is it going to be job done? It is for Rasmussen. He's got Amos 1.5 seconds down the road, possibly about as far as he's going to go over this run here, Ewan, as well. And Varani is still finding out with Adam Flint like a pair at a ballroom dancing session. They have not left each other alone for the whole entire race.
Varani looks like he might be on his way to his first top 10 of the season. He was back in 14th at the opening round at the Hockenheimring, and may well just make a bit of an improvement on that here this week. It's over the ridge, not the ridge, the what would you call that? The brow of the hill, maybe, down the hill towards the final chicane. It will be the last lap. They'll see the white flag this time around. Lee Aberdeen cruising now at the front.
Yeah, Aberdeen's got it locked up. It's about 5.6 seconds there as well. JWS in YouTube chat. Aussie man is flying. It's been a tough one for him as well, to a certain degree. Probably not until about lap 20, 22, I think it was, when Hermer and Ruiz had that little bit of ta-ta-ta and ended up off the side of the circuit. So he was still within touching distance, but then unfortunately those guys made contact, and then it all just went a little bit peak-tong. And now for Aberdeen, he's just going to pull away, take a victory, and jobs are good for him. He's done an absolutely stellar job.
A couple of, quite a lot of lap cars actually to negotiate here, and some drivers even who haven't had that bad of a race, but find themselves in front of Lee Aberdeen at the moment, such as the shortness of this racetrack, having to decide whether they're going to just slip in behind him here and take the checker flag now, or whether they are going to continue on for one more. He'll overtake one, but it won't matter. Lee Aberdeen will be a race winner again in the iGPFun F3 League at Road Atlanta. He wins round 2 of 2024. It's side by side though for 8th place. Kevin Tramstra gets ahead of Mikael Volkring for the final time. He wins that battle. Andy Flint, unfortunately, has come off second best in the fight for 10th. Luca Varani will hang on to that place.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling there was contact. They were side by side down into 10A. Oh, there was!
Oh, no.
Luca Varani! I'm not sure if that was Luca's fault. I just like saying his name in that way. You want to call that, Ewan, or shall I?
Well,
I ain't sure.
difficult one to call.
Yeah, Rasmussen did catch Amos and did pass Amos, so Rasmussen fought his way back up into 18th.
Very tricky one to call that. I wouldn't like to abortion blame on either party in that one, I've got to say. I think Ridgeway did get ahead. I suppose it did cost Flint one position, but even so, Varani got damaged and didn't lose any places. I suppose Flint did lose one, but that's a very, very difficult one to call. Wouldn't like to say which way I'd go with that one, because I don't know really. It's also awkward on that braking zone, isn't it, that you're coming round that right-hander just before the chicane itself, and so it's not, it's not dead straight where everyone knows if you just go straight then you will stay on the line. You are going through a curve, which doesn't help.
Yeah, and I think the problem is as well, was there a slight hint of our wonderful internet friend playing problems as well? I think that's one of the things to look out for. If you have a look at Andy Flint, here, he just kind of locks up and goes left there.
I think Flint goes, I think Varani might, you just look at the lines on the road there. Varani might just, and you can see them here as we're just watching them cruise to the pit lane at the end of the race. They're a good indication of sort of where you should follow on the circuit, and for me, Varani maybe just changes lanes a bit on the way down towards there. From that angle anyway, it's of course not one the stewards will be using, I'd imagine, the TV camera. They'll be looking at the blimp and the not nice broadcast cameras, which we don't often show here because they're not very nice, but this one's all right. Does Varani come across there? Maybe.
Yeah, more than our first fall. You can see the move as well for Varani. Goes out And then...
Well, Flint doesn't exactly stay all the way to the right either. It's impossible.
I don't know. We'll let the admin sort that out and they can go and blame each other. Me and you will just we'll be here forever trying to deal with that situation here as well. But here are the final results for you.
Well, you can see both sides of the argument. We'll leave it to someone else now. Lee Aberdeen has won the race. There's no arguments about that. 5 seconds the margin ahead of Brent Ruiz and Ivan van der Hoek, who's on the podium at the end of the day. Pedro Suarez gains 8 places to move to 4th of Will McIntyre-Jones. Mackenzie Runa slipped and slid his way to 6th at the end, with Tony Jimenez finishing where he started in 7th. Kevin Zwemstra, Miguel Volkering and Luca Verani all gained places to join the top 10. Robert Ridgway just missed out, with Andy Flint dropping to 12th on that last lap. Evan Way survived a spin at turn 2 and 3 to finish 13th ahead of Jack Williams, and Clark Williams, who ran at the top 15. Koji Ito was 16th ahead of Stuart Milne, who gained 17 to finish 17th. Nicholas Rasmussen recovered to 18th after early problems. Eddie Amos and John McKenzie stayed inside the top 20 at the end, just ahead of Mark Sotlovs, who was pressuring them towards the end. Jimmy Dos Santos finished 22nd ahead of Rino Scatini and Václav Potapenko, with Nick Carty finishing 25th. Ben Goyette was 26th ahead of Patrick Piper. Zoltan Zamota dropped 1 spot to finish 28th ahead of Oscar Artinano and Chris George Angelidis, who finished in the top 30. Thibaut Rabelow just dropped out of it. He beat Ridders to the line by less than a tenth of a second. It was Matt Brewer in 33rd ahead of Zerge Blanco and Matthew Gracie, who were just completed enough laps to score points, as did Ali Nasser in the 36th position. The rest of them will not be classified, although Richard Valley did cross the line in 37th. He I think, dropped 5 laps, and so that's too many to score points today. Not finishing was Samuel Hermer, Chris Stewart, Marcelo Kessler, Ryan Berry, Dennis Cornu, Maximilian Gebhardt, Silas Craig Broley, Leonard Sherry, Zachary Bolzewski, Adam Talsma, Nguyen Salito, Muldering, Williams, Dennis and Gracito, all failing to see the checkered flag at the end of the day. 53 drivers took the start at the green flag waving here today at Road Atlanta. 36 of them will score points here today, and a great race it was as well. Always an entertaining racetrack, Road Atlanta, an enjoyable one as well, and a good way to kick off 2024 in this championship.
Yeah, absolutely stellar job. We did say, look, if we get mid-40s finishing, we'll be happy. But to be fair, whenever you're bringing that amount of cars to such a short circuit, as I say, the leaders were going through turn 1, and the last place wasn't even coming down through the last corner when they started. So you can see how big the field actually was, and it was always gonna be difficult if you could get 40 finishes. But we got a good, decent run of cars finishing, and they should all be happy with themselves.
Yep, and we're certainly pleased to have seen the action that we did today. A big thank you to everyone who's been tuned in here this afternoon or this evening. It's been great to have you along for the ride. It's been round 2 of the iGPFun F3 League here live from Road Atlanta. We'll be back with round 3 in just 1 week's time, so make sure you subscribe to the JPB YouTube channel so that you do not miss any of the broadcasts coming up over the coming weeks as we get back into the swing of things in 2024. For now, though, we will bid our farewells. I've been Ewan O'Leary, James Parfitt alongside me, and until we see you in 1 week's time for round 3, it's goodbye for now.
Jungle.